Hello everyone and welcome along to Monte Carlo for the rerun of round 6 in this World Championship. It is in fact the 17th race of the season, but we are back in Monte Carlo after a cancelled race earlier on in the season, and alongside me tonight I've got Alex. And Alex, another fantastic race in prospect here around the Principality, isn't it?
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. A little bit down on numbers, but I'm sure there'll still be plenty to speak about.
Yep, it sure will be a cracker. We're expecting dry conditions in qualifying and dry conditions in the race, so there are no changes to the weather, so dry tyres throughout this weekend, but the car's starting to come out now onto the racetrack. Has my controller died or something? What's going on? No, we're okay, that's sorted. Apologies there folks, I thought we'd lost control of the cars, but yes, qualifying underway then here in Monte Carlo, and as you can see the floodlights are on, so we are expecting this to be a night race, the first ever night race here at Monte Carlo. This is going to be quite interesting, quite exciting, a little bit like Singapore in a way, Alex. We've got all the floodlights on in the streets, and yeah, a little flashback to Singapore, which we've seen a couple of weeks ago, here in Monte Carlo.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the drivers adapt to the different lighting, and could just affect the lines and sight lines for a couple of the corners, so yeah, mix things up a little bit.
Well, a lot of the cars heading out nice and early here in qualifying, and of course in a track like Monte Carlo it's very, very important to get yourself dialed in to get that perfect lap. One mistake, one lapse of concentration and you are heading into the barrier, so yeah, absolutely no room for error. They'll be winding their way up towards the quick times, and actually I'm really interested to see what Skeven does here today, because we've seen it so many times. It's his Achilles heel. He always seems to make small errors, and obviously on a track like Monte Carlo you cannot afford to make any errors, and Skeven really can't afford to make any at all, and if he does it could be the end of his session. He might not get a second bite of the cherry, but we only have 12 runners here today and quite a few no-shows, but this promises to be, regardless, a thrilling race, a real tactical battle. Who can keep it out the walls amongst these drivers? We now watch Skeven start a flying lap around this Monte Carlo circuit in the nighttime conditions, or the dusk conditions as it is right now, across the start finish line, down into Sandivot, tight to the barrier on the left, and then begins his climb up the hill. He looks direct to the sky from that cockpit. You'll see almost none of the racetrack, and now through this sweeping left-hander down into Casino Square, and Skeven pushing the limits, missed the bump on the left, and now down into Mirabeau corner, and now through the hairpin, the slowest corner on the Formula 1 calendar, now down in towards Portier, down by the harbour for the first time on the lap, and he clips the inside wall there, Skeven. Lap ruined, but no damage to his car, and that's the most important thing at this time. It's all about dialling yourself in, just waiting and waiting till you feel confident in the car, and then bam, delivering that lap near the end of the session. Tiger Cut puts the first lap on the board. It's a tentative 1 minute 14.2. Skeven goes flying through to back and through the swimming pool section. Alex, I've got to ask you, do you have a favourite part of this racetrack? Is there an area you really enjoy watching the cars or driving yourself?
Yeah, it has to be that first part of the swimming pool, the clipping of the two curbs left and right, and some real speed at that point of the track, especially with the 2017 cars. A little bit wider, of course, possibly making it a bit more difficult around the narrow streets, but yeah, starting the swimming pool is always fantastic place to watch.
Yeah, well, I have to agree, Alex. I was going to give you my feedback as well, and I totally agree. I think that area to back and then through the swimming pool section gives you so much satisfaction when you're driving the car. But I've just noticed Cherry Tupai has popped to the top of the timesheets with a 1 minute 11.137. That's a superb effort. Julian goes second at 1:11.3. So the youngsters, and almost immediately on the pace and really setting the timing screens alight. And you know, that's something we see about a lot of the younger drivers, Alex, isn't it? They just don't seem to care. They go for it flat out. They've got more confidence than a few of the older, wiser heads. Sometimes it can work out for them, and other times it can backfire, can't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen Cherry Tupai mixing it up with the title contenders quite a few times this season, and yeah, right up there again. That'll be certainly interesting if he can keep that and start from the pole position.
Well, he's got a great time at the bottom, and it's a very difficult target for the drivers to reach. Will he keep it there? Everyone out there on the ultra softs at the moment. Cherry Tupai going again. He feels the pace. He feels what he's got. Oh, it's a 1:10.3. That is a blistering effort from Cherry Tupai. A 1 minute 10.3. Now, don't get me wrong. I've not driven around Monaco very often, but and I don't really know the target lap times. But I get the impression that is a very, very, very quick time. Alex, do you have any idea on lap times around here? I certainly don't. But I think that is a blistering effort. I don't think that's going to be beaten. I don't think anybody's going to get close to that. What a time.
Yeah, great time, especially with 6 minutes of the session remaining. I've got the notepad out for you, Andy, and I've got written down that we could possibly even see a high 1 minute 9. But,
okay, maybe I'm wrong then. Okay.
In the dust conditions, maybe having a bit of an effect on that, as Stephen goes straight across the chicane there. So that's this lap gone. But yeah, possibly a 1 minute 9, but yeah, low 1:10, you're well on your way to a top position.
Okay, well thanks Alex, we love it when you get your notebook out and crunch the numbers for us, and there you go. Now 1:9 could be possible, but regardless of that, he's got to be delighted with that, Cherry Tupai. Half the session still to go, and he's pumped in 2 lap times, one of which could really threaten the pole. Julian, a 1:11.3 seconds. Stephen is third, a 1:11.4. He'll just be satisfied he's got a time on the board, because as I've already mentioned, Stephen often cannot put the lap together. Matt Meerkat is 4th at the moment on a 1:11.5, and Shimasi is 5th as we ride on board with them now on a quick lap. 8,000s up through that first sector, now down into that tricky hairpin corner, an iconic area of the Formula 1 track and the Formula 1 calendar, and Shimasi getting it all wrong, taking far too much pavement going through the first part of Portier. Now he goes through the tunnel, and the engines used to roar like crazy when it was V6s, V8s and V8s and V10s, but not with these V6 engines. It's a little bit quieter and not quite as spectacular. But with these 2017 cars, as you can now see, there is plenty of speed in the cars if there's not the sound. As Shimasi now heads towards the end of the lap, and he's clipped the wall on the inside. It looks like the inside, the right hand side of that front wing has been damaged, and his best time is well, a 1:11.8, and that is it at the moment. 5th quickest. Not too spectacular from your championship leader, is it, Alex?
No, not a great start, and despite the fact we've got Cherry Tupai a second clear of the rest of the field, it's getting quite congested around the sort of mid to low 1 minute 11. It'll be interesting to see where Shimasi comes up throughout all that. Of course, no pit map here this week, so it'll be interesting to see where Shimasi can finish, and obviously any points gained would be a massive advantage at this stage.
And of course, there's no pit mat here today, as you say. I mean, it's going to be, without pit mat, it's going to be a really good day for Shimasi. You think he would be the man to go on and win this World Championship now, and of course he just needs to finish the race with a reasonable points haul. But let's have a quick look at the championship standing. Shimasi is in the lead by 13 points to Pitmat in second, who is not here tonight, so a real chance to stretch that championship advantage to an almost unassailable lead for Shimasi tonight. Pitmat second, Ash Richardson is third, he's also not here tonight. Matt Meerkat fourth, Stephen fifth, Chris is sixth, Cherry Tupai is seventh, but showing up well here, and in in eighth position is Julian, also showing up well in qualifying so far. Redman ninth and Diego is 10th in the standings. So let's have a look at Julian, who is going through the hairpin, and now down through Portier and onto the throttle in that Red Bull. The Red Bull always seems to go very well around this racetrack, and the Dutch driver so far performing reasonably well, but again, they've all been put in the shade by the effort from Cherry Tupai so far. Is anyone going to raise their game in the remaining 3 minutes? Julian then down towards Tabac, flying through Tabac corner, and now left, then right through the swimming pool section. Oh, that was a hell of a lot of speed there from Julian. That looked superb. And now into Raskas. Anthony knows the final corner. Where is he going to go? A little bit wide on the way in. And now Julian for the line. Does he improve on a 1:11.3? He does. He gets within range of Cherry Tupai. A 1:10.6, just the 3:10 shy. And Alex, there you go. We're starting to see a threat from Julian, but that's as good as it's going to get. He's retired from the session.
Yeah, a bit of a strange one there for Julian, but yeah, as you say, a great time on the board now. Putting him comfortably on the front row at the moment, and he's finished second, of course, in Singapore, so he's a bit of a master of the street tracks. And interestingly, on that topic, we said last time out, Cherry 2 Pie preferred the more open circuits, having performed well at Spa and Circuit of the Americas. He's turned that on its head as well.
Yeah, he has. He sure has. And Cherry 2 Pie putting on another fine show in this second half of the season as Looney goes across the line. He's 6th. He's starting another lap. Who have we got furthest round the racetrack at the moment on a quick lap? Skeven and Matt Meerkat. Well, Matt Meerkat's backing out of a lap. He needs to watch because there's a few cars coming behind him on quick laps, and Skeven has just put it in the wall, and he's had enough of his session. And out of qualifying goes Skeven in the wall, down at Raskas. And yeah, not at all what he was hoping for, but I suppose third at the moment is better than what it's been in some races this season, like Spa and Monza, where he started down at the very, very back. Who else we got pushing on a lap at the moment? Cherry 2 Pie is out there, going quickly again, I think. No, he's backed out. He's backed out of it. Matt Meerkat trying again. Shimasi backed out of one. Is there anyone pushing? Looney is pushing. 6th at the moment on another quick lap. What can he do? 1:12.2 to beat. And he's clipped the inside wall. Lucky to get away without crashing hard into the wall. And he's backed out of the lap. So a lot of cars struggling to put the lap together, as we suspected that might happen at the start of qualifying. So let's have a look at, well, Matt Meerkat, I think. Is he on a quick one? He's backed out as well, I think. Everyone backing out of laps at the moment, Alex, and with only half a minute left, we need to all get across the line and start another quick one, don't they?
Yeah, it's last chance saloon now, so yeah, if you cross the line, that is your last lap, of course. Shimasi, sorry, just coming across the line to start one now with your yellow flags at turn 1, though.
Who's that? Looney it must have been. So Julian's not going to be setting any more lap times. Neither's Skeven, neither's Arctic Devils, neither's Looney. Cherry 2 Pie coming to the line to start one. He's going to get one in with just 5 seconds to go. So Cherry 2 Pie will be the last man across the line. Matt Meerkat is backed out of another attempt, so he's out of qualifying. Shimasi's trying hard again. He doesn't need to find too much time to get himself up into the 3rd position alongside Skeven. That will surely be his target here. But Cherry 2 Pie looking very ominous at the top of the standings. He's put everyone in the shade. His time crosses the line and moves up into 5th position from 8th. So time moves up ahead of Shimasi, who's now 6th. We've got Tiger Kart out there coming round the final corner in the Renault. Tiger Kart for the line. Where is he going to go? It's not very quick. And it does only improve him up into 9th place. So not at all what he was hoping for. So it's all eyes on Shimasi and OTG. Shimasi we will watch first. He's furthest round. He heads through Anthony Nose in that McLaren up towards the start finish line. The McLaren Honda singing its heart out. This is one of their best racetracks, and Shimasi improves by 1,000th and goes 6th. So no quicker than what he had done, and Ollie looks to me like he's damaged that car and isn't going to go any quicker than 8th quickest. He will come to the line, and no, he will not improve. A 13.2, and that rounds off what I have to say, Alex, and you probably agree, was a pretty scrappy qualifying session where drivers couldn't get the lap in unless you're Cherry 2 Pie and Julian.
Yeah, even with just the 12 runners we said at the start, they were finding traffic, and yeah, clearly Cherry 2 Pie got a nice clean lap in. Other than that, as you say, yellow flags all over the place towards the end there.
Yep, absolutely. So there is a quick rundown of the Monaco Grand Prix qualifying session. Cherry 2 Pie 1:10.3, put them all in the shade. Julian got close enough though, 1:10.6 for him in 2nd. Rest in the 11th, Skeven 3rd, Matt Meerkat 4th, Time 5th, Shimasi 6th, Looney 7th, OTG in 8th, Tiger Kart 9th, and Arctic Devils rounded out the top 10. Well, Monte Carlo, it's all about keeping it out of the barriers. Will these drivers manage it here in the night sky of Monte Carlo, the first ever night race at Monaco? Alex, I've got to ask you, who do you think is the man to win this race? It looks like Cherry 2 Pie on qualifying, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, if you can replicate that sort of pace, and it may just be a case of getting out in front and away from the chaos I think we're all expecting.
Yeah, it probably will be, and Julian will be wanting to threaten as well. He's put in a solid effort in qualifying. Both drivers really look tuned in around this racetrack. You've got to question, have they been putting a good bit of practice in? It certainly looks like it. A 1:10.3 and a 1:10.6, miles ahead of Skeven in 3rd. And a real pace equaliser this Monaco Grand Prix. And here come the lights. The Monaco Grand Prix is Go! And Cherry Tupai off the grid leads away. Is Julian going to get alongside in the run into turn one? No, he is not. They all head into turn one now. Are they all keeping their noses clean? It looks like it is the climb now. Cherry Tupai holds his lead from Julian second, Stephen third, Matt Meerkat fourth, and Tyne in fifth. Shimasi tucks in behind in sixth position. Looney seventh, and OTG in eighth. Clean start from everyone. They all make it through the opening few corners, and now they all settle down into their rhythm, into their race as Tyne locks up there with Shimasi directly in front of him. Very nearly some contact there directly behind him. He nearly clipped the back of Matt Meerkat their time, but a clean start, and it's Cherry Tupai leading the way, Julian second and Stephen in third. Now, I said in qualifying, the young drivers, it can either go right, it can either go wrong. Quite easy to get overconfident, but so far so good. A great qualifying session from the pair of them, Cherry Tupai and Julian, and can they match it in the race? Or will they make mistakes and end in the wall? We've got a couple of time penalties already, 3 time penalties already. JG, OTG, and who's the other one? Matt Meerkat, I believe, all picking up a time penalty almost immediately as the cars try to find their way around this racetrack without any problems. And OTG now picks up a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting and gaining an advantage. So Cherry Tupai leads from Julian and Stephen in third. Alex, very clean start, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was certainly clean up the front. We've got a Red Bull in the pits without a front wing. That was sort of losing a bit every corner for the first sector there. And then a couple of cars as well making contact at the seafront chicane. I believe that was Arctic Devils involved. So yeah, a bit scrappy down the back, but overall not a bad start.
Yeah, not a bad start for the Monaco Grand Prix. It has to be said, as Shimasi now damages his front wing. He was up behind Looney there, chasing him down in that battle for 6th and 7th. He's now just clipped the back of him going through Monaco, and it damaged his car so slightly. So not at all a racetrack you want to be having issues with your front wing, and it's very easy to understeer off into the wall. You do not get any second chances in run-off areas or even bouncing across the AstroTurf. There's none of that. It's either curb or wall, and Shimasi needs to take it very, very cautiously as he gets right onto the back of Looney. We've got a yellow in sector 1. Who's off the road? I think Lamardo's been off down at the back of the pack. Who's had a messy opening lap. Cherry Tupai opens that gap out now to 1.7 as Stephen hits the wall down at Raskas, and he also joins a group of cars with damaged front wing. So Stephen, slight left-hand damage. Will he continue? He probably will carry on and brave it out. He's got no other option really, and he runs in third. Track positions, Shimasi ends, so he's had enough of that front wing. I was just about to say, Alex, that Stephen had no option to continue, and Shimasi had no option to continue, but he obviously feels he needs a new front wing, and the track position is not as important as a changed front wing. I'm a bit surprised by that, aren't you, Alex?
Yeah, usually track position is absolute god around here, and you do anything you can to stay in a position, but the problem is you lose a bit of front wing, you slide at the front, make contact with the barrier, it's just a snowball effect. You lose bits, more and more bits every time you slide at the front, and of course no run-off whatsoever here.
Yeah, absolutely right, and Shimasi will be even more frustrated. He's now dropped behind Tiger Kart, which again develops the point further about track position. He's now going to be stuck behind that Renault and struggle to find a way past on a day where he could really stretch his championship advantage. It's not started very well at all. Pit Matt will be sitting with his feet up, enjoying every moment of this so far. As it stands, that championship lead is only going to increase from 13 to 15, and that leaves Pit Matt well within a chance of winning this title still, as Cherry Tupai now builds that gap out to 2.8 seconds over Julian. That's a superb pace advantage he has over the field, and as we suspected, Alex, it looks like he's just going to break away from the chaos and just get on with his race. And he doesn't need to push too hard though, does he? He just needs to stroke it home even from here, lap 4 out of 39. But again, Monte Carlo, Formula 1, anything can happen, and it usually does. So if Cherry Tupai can just keep his head, he should be on for a second win of the season, but we will see. Julian though, putting in a fine effort in second, and as you said actually, Alex, earlier in the show, very quick in Singapore. Second in Singapore, is that correct?
Yes, I believe it was, yeah.
So yeah, looking very, very good, Julian, at the moment for another strong podium finish, and that would be a fantastic result for him going into the season, SRL season next year. He'll be hoping to really build on what's been a reasonable start. A few battles in the midfield, but recovering in Malaysia to finish fifth. and a few times right up at the sharp end of the action. So one to watch in next season's championship, as we have a pit stop from Stephen, who's also, Alex, decided to abort and get rid of that front wing and get a new one fitted. Will he be ahead or behind Shimasi? Oh, I got contact down there. Shimasi, Tiger Car, and Arctic Devils all dueling. I just caught it at the very end there, and Shimasi was locked into the side of Tiger Car, and that looked a bit mental, to be honest with you. Tiger Car's got damage to his front wing on the right hand side. Shimasi is through though. Alex, did you catch that? I certainly didn't.
Not quite, unfortunately. Damage to Tiger Car was picked up actually through to back, so after that incident I think they all actually came out of the incident itself with no damage at all.
And Arctic Devils up the inside of Tiger Car going into the first corner. That was a wonderful move from Arctic Devils. He goes steaming past Tiger Car into turn one, even with the front wing damage on Tiger Car. That was an opportunistic move, and the Welshman goes dancing up into 9th position. Beautiful move into turn one. Absolutely wonderful. And he climbs up ahead of Tiger Car. What did you make of that one, Alex? Lovely move, wasn't it?
Fantastic move. He's shown some flashes of brilliance, really. Driver of the day last time out in the US. So yeah, really positive signs from Arctic Devils in the last couple of races.
Well, fantastic stuff from Arctic Devils. A real highlight and probably the best, most skillful moment I've seen in this Grand Prix so far. Absolutely beautiful. Down the inside of Tiger Car into turn one. Tiger Car had to leave the door open because Arctic Devils broke solely on the inside, and there it was, move completed up into 9th place. Now, can he get after Shimasi? I would be very surprised. Shimasi really out of sorts here in 8th position. Stephen did come out ahead of him after his pit stop by quite some way, a full 13 seconds ahead of him, Stephen. So what can he do from there? Can they take these tyres to the end? I would be very surprised if Stephen damages his front wing again. And there goes the left end plate on that Ferrari, and he's going to retire. Yep. I really don't understand why he does this. Why does he retire? I really don't get it. It's Monaco. Anything can happen. And Stephen was decided, with a slight bit of front wing damage, it's time to just call it a day, and he is out of the Monaco Grand Prix. And again, Alex, we keep going back to this. It's the story of his season, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame there. I have to be honest, I was a little surprised to see those with just slight front wing damage putting so early, because the strategy here is pretty much a straight one stop. The ultra soft will go, I'm pretty sure, to half distance, so it's just a case of staying out there, racking up the laps. Like you say, anything can happen, so just keep the track position.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a very good point, Alex. I mean, I never thought about that. Of course, the one stop would be straightforward, so why not stay out? And then make your next stint a little bit easier, but obviously these drivers did not think that they would be able to keep the car on the island in a competitive state, and that's why they decided to come into the pits. But Cherry 2 Pie, Alex, look at this, 6.1 ahead of Julian, streaking away from the rest of the field and looking like a certainty for this victory, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in a beautiful rhythm up the front. Julian as well, to be fair. He's, especially now Stephen's out of the race, they've got a good gap. No cars around them, they can focus on their own race, not having to defend from anyone or look at getting past either. So yeah, just keeping away from the barriers, keeping it smooth.
Yeah, but yeah, I have to agree with you. Julian doing a fine effort as well, just as Cherry 2 Pie is. 6.6 between them now, and a further 5.1 back from Julian to his fellow countryman Tyne. Those two have been in action quite often, as Looney now climbed up to 4th, as Matt Meerkat is the next man to get rid of his front wing. And where will he come out in relation to Shimasi and OTG? Probably, I would think, as OTG's also coming in, and he's got real front wing damage. He's not got a single end plate left on that car, and he's getting a 5-second stop for penalty as well, so really not going well at all for him. And OTG's race pretty much ruined. And
sorry to interrupt, Andy, but Shimasi's been in the wall again at Raskas.
Oh, so he has, and he's back in again. Well, Pit Matt will be absolutely loving this. Time and time again, Shimasi making mistakes here when he could really be ending this championship battle as a contest, and now he's down to 10th and picking up 1 point. Is the pressure getting to him, Alex? What do you think?
It's a vicious cycle. You start getting the damage, and and end up down the back, and then you end up in more traffic, more damage, and just, as we've seen with Cherry really to be out the front.
But yeah, he's already been lapped, Shimasi, by Cherry 2-Pie. Forgettable afternoon for Shimasi, but of course he can still extend his championship lead with no pitman, no Ash Richardson in third in the championship lead either. So Shimasi well placed still for the title, but really not a good afternoon so far. I mean, he could easily have picked up a good solid 5th position, and he still could, you know, with so many incidents possible around the streets of Monte Carlo, and this is not a sight we see very often. He pulls over to the right hand side and allows Julian to put a lap on him. How often do we see Shimasi, your championship leader, get lapped? Never is the answer to that one. And Julian goes past. It'll be interesting to see if Shimasi can keep with Julian now and see if he does have any sort of pace in that McLaren, Alex. But with what we've seen in qualifying and what we've seen so far today, would say no, he does not.
Yeah, it's all been a bit scrappy. Good driving though, letting Julian through, of course, before the tunnel. We've seen previously that you don't want to go side by side through there. Has Julian damaged his front wing? Yeah,
I think it does look like it, doesn't he? On that side there, that left hand side. He does have damage, and now, as I said, Shimasi will probably be regretting the fact he's let him back through, because he's now climbing all over the back of that Red Bull. Now this could be a major talking point after the Grand Prix or on the team radios if Shimasi tries to go past Julian. I can't see Julian letting him go, but it would potentially be a good idea for Julian, do you think, to let him go? Not because Shimasi might want to force the issue here. He is entitled to go back past him, but he doesn't want to really ruin his race. Alex, how do you read this one? If you were a team principal at Red Bull and a team principal at McLaren, how do you read this?
Yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one, because if Julian was to let Shimasi go and sort of run his own race, you've then got the problem that Shimasi's just ended up with, that you then get stuck behind them. So it's the moment Julian, I think, has just got to stay in front, and of course that damage is going to slow him down all the more.
So if you were down at Red Bull, you'd be telling him to keep ahead?
I think you've got to at the moment, but it'd be interesting to see if he pits and gets a set of the super softs on. No, continues.
I've just noticed Shimasi's tapped the wall again as well, and there you go, as you were talking about it. If he lets him go and then he gets caught up behind him again himself, well, I'll be glad he never let him go, because Shimasi's now damaged the right hand end plate of his car again. I think they're running out of front wings down at McLaren. I think they might be sending a DHL aircraft over to back to the base to get some more front wings picked up, because we've lost quite a few down there today, haven't they? In fact, that may be why Stephen retired. Ran out of front wings.
Yeah, there's plenty of people running around after picking up bits of carbon fibre as well. It's been quite chaotic out there, and we're only on lap 11.
Yeah, we are indeed, as Looney now gets right onto the tail of Matt Meerkat in the battle for 4th and 5th. Mercedes powered at Force India being chased by the factory team, the Mercedes of Looney, who is now putting real pressure on Matt Meerkat up ahead, who has got slight damage to the right end plate on his car. Just about everyone does, but Looney's putting a solid race together here. No damage, running well in 5th position. Is he on for a good result here today?
Yeah, could well be. He's just got to make sure, as we've said many times already, he's stuck behind another car. It's so easy to take a corner off the front wing, and then it just all falls to pieces from there, really, as you've got a slow car in the tunnel. It's not what we want.
Looney, of course, running in 5th. Cherry 2-Pie is now in the pits. Let's have a quick look at him. He's coming back out onto the racetrack now, onto the super softs, as he said he might. And out he comes now into the most cleanest of air he could have asked for. This is going perfectly, all to plan for Cherry 2-Pie, and is on course for the 2nd win of the season as it stands, but he just needs to keep his focus, keep his head. There's still a long way to go, but he is going to be the net leader when the stops are over with, I would think, as Looney now gets back chasing Matt Meerkat. I've got to ask you, Alex, it's very difficult to overtake around here. You know that, I know that, but looking at Looney, where do you think he might be able to find a way ahead of Matt Meerkat?
Well, as we've seen at the moment, the best chance you've got of waiting for the front.
We've got Arctic Devils out of the race. I'm losing you. hold on. Oh, we got a strange accident there. Arctic Devils in the wall, down at the swimming pool chicane, and all of a sudden his car embedded in the wall in the runoff area down there, and then Tiger Kart came charging through the corner, didn't see the yellow flags, and then hit the stricken Williams car and damaged his front wing. So Tiger Kart is now severely damaged as he comes into the pits. Disaster for the Renault driver who just tripped over an accident that happened in front of him. Arctic Devils is out and Tiger Kart is in for a brand new front wing, and that is not going to plan. In fact, he's come in and they've not fitted a new front wing, so he's going to have to come back round again. Oh dearie, dearie me. Not at all going to plan there. For Tiger Kart, he's out of the race, he's retired. It must be suspension damage. Tiger Kart out of the race. Alex, have I got you back? There was a slight lag there and your voice, I couldn't quite hear you. Do you read me, Alex?
Hopefully so. I'm hearing you loud and clear, Andy. I was just about to say that Shimasi was making progress as a result of all that. I've now found that he's missing the entire front wing on that McLaren, so hopefully they've got another one stored out the back of it somewhere.
Yep, not good at all for Shimasi. I do now hear you loud and clear. All good, Alex. Shimasi, look at that, he's on the wall! Oh, that was nearly the end of the race, and that was nearly no points. He needs to make sure he does get points today, doesn't he? He can't afford to be bouncing off walls like that. He needs to get to the finish and get the points. Oh, he's not getting any now. It's over. Shimasi in the wall, and the championship will go on to the 18th round of the season. Shimasi coming back to the pits, didn't take it easy enough. He went locking up into Raskas. The front wing folded underneath the car quite possibly, and straight into the Armco he went. Shimasi is out. Pitmat will be jumping for joy. Won't he just, Alex?
Absolutely, yeah. Pitmat, as we've said, sat at home unfortunately tonight, not able to race. But yeah, Lamaro is doing what we've said, just keeping it out of the wall, and actually up into 8th place now, and we'll pick up a few points. So yeah, if you finish, you're going to pick up points at the moment.
Yep, you need to just get to the finish in races like this. It's survival of the fittest, and Lamaro, well, he might not have the pace, he might be 41 seconds behind his nearest car, but he is going to pick up 4 points, and that's 4 more points than Shimasi will pick up, 4 more points than Tiger Kart, Arctic Devils and Steven will pick up. We were all in the wall, or in the war. Shimasi in the wall, Arctic Devils in the wall, Steven in the wall, Tiger Kart crashing into the stranded Arctic Devils car, and that's why he's out.
Nearly had an incident there on the start-finish straight. Cherry 2-Pipe putting a lap on JG, and just as he pulled out to go to the left, the Red Bull decided to let him through, and so close to an incident.
We got Matt Meerkat out as well now, and that's down at, well, that's a strange place to crash. He's down where Steven went off. Down at, where's that, Mirabel? Straight on. Brake failure possibly, Alex? Quite possibly.
Yeah, very strange incident. We've seen Nico Rosberg in the past, of course, lock up and go straight on there, but yeah, very interesting to see what happened there.
Well, we lose Matt Meerkat from the race, and then suddenly there were 7, and suddenly Lamaro is looking at 6 World Championship points, despite his lack of pace, and well, survival of the fittest, as we said. He continues on as Cherry Tupai now opens up a 17.1 second lead at the front of the race. You know something, Alex, I don't think we need a driver of the day poll today. I think we can just, if it finishes like this, just hand it to Cherry Tupai and not even bother, to be honest. Julian's put in a fine performance himself so far, but yeah. Do you agree with that statement? I don't think we need one. In fact, what's happened to Julian? Why is he now behind time?
Yeah, interesting to see that he's gone for the soft tyre as well. I think time was possibly one of the ones that he pitted early on, and throughout all the chaos he's just slowly worked his way up.
Strange, how has he done that? Up into second. I actually think Julian has had an incident somewhere, because there was no way he would be 21 seconds behind Cherry Tupai after the stops, because I'm sure it was less than 7 or 8 seconds. So Julian's obviously had a major moment here somewhere. I'm actually going to have a quick look at the race director and have a look at his lap times and try and discover what lap that might have been on. He only managed a 1 minute 39.7 when he came into the pits in the 42 second final sector, so surely he's had an off somewhere. When Cherry Tupai came in, he did a 1:34, so he's lost around 5 seconds in that final sector than the lap he came in. and damaged the front wing, I think. That must have been it. And that's how Tyne has managed to get himself up into second place. And the two Dutch drivers, second and third. Tyne now ahead of Julian. But it will be good to watch that one. I think that could be the battle of the race unfolding between Tyne and Julian, because Julian does have the pace advantage. We've seen that in qualifying. But has that now been equalised, Alex, possibly, with those soft tyres? What do you think?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Obviously, the durability of the super soft I don't think is an issue, so it's all about, as we saw last time out, the varying performance of the two tyres. It's not always, as you'd expect, that the soft is the quickest, but I'd be surprised if that wasn't the case around here. Cherry 2 Pie just faultless at the front at the moment, fastest lap after fastest lap.
Yep, Cherry 2 Pie out on his own, putting it all together. Just 20 seconds now ahead, just the full 20 seconds, stroking it home, not even the slightest bit concerned. And look at that, 112.854, no one even close to that. We've got Julian, who's done a 13.9, around a 1.1 seconds slower than him. Yeah, Cherry 2 Pie dialed in around this Monte Carlo circuit, and the Haas car looking good for 25 World Championship points, backing up that fine performance in the US last week, when he almost won the Grand Prix, but it just wasn't enough to beat Shimasi on the day, beaten near the finish. And Cherry 2 Pie looking really solid for this victory. We're on lap 18 out of 39. We're about the halfway stage of this Grand Prix. And Cherry 2 Pie 20.8 seconds his advantage out in front. Then it's Julian, Tyne in second, then Julian 4.5 seconds back. Now he's come into the pits actually. Julian has damaged that front wing again, Alex. And there we go, a new wing on, a set of super softs, and Looney now up into a surprise podium.
Yeah, as we've said, it's a second is more easily lost by losing your front wing than gained by driving absolutely flat out. It's definitely a percentage game throughout the race here. And Cherry 2 Pie, 3 fastest laps in a row. We want to watch he doesn't get carried away here out the front and doesn't overdrive the car.
Well, you know something, I get what you're saying there, Alex. I know what you're saying. It's a percentage game, but arguably when you're as dialed in as Cherry 2 Pie is, do you need to play a percentage game? As he crosses the line, does a 14.1 this time, so maybe he's been told to back off by the team. Either that or, well, he's just had a little bit of a hear him, scare him moment and decided, well, let's slow down, because we've seen it before, haven't we? All the way back, Ayrton Senna, humongous lead, and decided to push and threw it in the wall. So history tells that even the greatest drivers make mistakes in Monaco, even when they seem untouchable. So will Cherry 2 Pie lift off a little now that we've seen 3 successive fastest laps, or will he continue to push? I think, Alex, if you were a race engineer, I think I know what you'd be telling him to do.
Yeah, just screaming down the radio at him at this point. I was actually on board with him for the first half of that last lap. It was a bit scrappy in the first sector, made contact with the barrier up at Casino Square. Actually missed the final part of the lap, so I'm not sure where he lost the 4 seconds you're seeing there, Andy, but must have had a problem in the final sector.
Yeah. And yeah, Cherry 2 Pie, what can he do this time as he heads round that final corner and up to the line? Does he go back up towards that pace we've seen earlier on, or is he continuing to lap slower? 12.13, 1 minute 13.3. Well, he's picked it back up again, and you were right, it was just a mistake, but maybe the best of those tyres have started to go away, and Cherry 2 Pie is just going to consolidate what he's got, a 23-second lead and climbing rapidly over time. Looney now is up into 3rd position with Julian in 4th. OTG on for a fine result. Not often to see him up in the top 5. Ollie will be hoping to pick up 10 World Championship points, and a pretty happy day's work for him. And then it's a huge 1 minute and 4 second gap back to JG in 6th position. I kind of get the feeling that Ollie might be safe in 5th place, Alex. I don't know about you.
Well, yeah, in terms of pure performance, absolutely. As we've seen, plenty of people throwing it in the wall already. We're getting down to just half the runners remaining. If we lose another one.
Well, some of the guys that don't often score as many points as the big few in the league, well, will be hoping for a race of attrition. They've got that so far, and Jerry Tupai out in front, but there's a great chance here if Jerry Tupai made a mistake for the likes of Tyne to win his first race. Looney, Julian, OTG, they're all chasing a first win of the season. Everyone except Jerry Tupai chasing a first victory, I believe. So if Jerry Tupai was to stick in the wall, we could be on for a quite dramatic end to this Grand Prix. Because that's the thing, Alex, isn't it? When you've never won a Grand Prix before, if Jerry Tupai was to miraculously make an error, the pressure would start to tell on the rest of the field, wouldn't it? Tyne, Looney, Julian, they'd all start to, you get the impression, buckle under the pressure of having never won a race. And until you cross that line, win your first race, that pressure will always be there, won't it?
Absolutely will, yes. And as you've said, Tyne, his best result so far is an 8th place finish in, I believe, was it Singapore? Somewhere around that time. And Looney, I believe his best result was a 7th place finish a couple of races ago. So yeah, definitely uncharted territory for those two on the podium at the moment.
Yeah, fantastic opportunity to pick up some silverware and some champagne, and who knows, maybe one or two of them will be taking a little trip into that Red Bull swimming pool at the end on that energy station come the end of this Grand Prix. They might not drive for Red Bull, but I don't think they would care a jot, you know that, because I think they've put in that good a performance today. And no! As I say, that time he spun it! I don't believe it! He spun it down at the Nouvelle Chicane. He's got it going again. He holds on to his precious 2nd place. Oh, that was heart in the mouth stuff there for the Williams team down in that garage. Somehow no front wing damage. You know what I think he's done? I think he's caught the left rear on the inside of the wall as he's turned in. That must have been how he done that, if he's not damaged the car, Alex. And that's what we're talking about, the pressure telling. A 30-second lead now for Jerry Tupai.
Yeah, tricky little corner on the entry there, but good work from Tyne. He just kept it calm, got facing the right way again, had a decent gap to Looney. No point in sticking him in the wall, recovering it. So yeah, good stuff.
Well, and then running in second, Looney in third, and Looney 5 seconds now the gap. Can Looney apply some pressure to the Dutchman and maybe, just maybe, come up with a surprise second, the Italian driver and the Mercedes car? 5.5 the gap. We will be monitoring that one very closely. Julian in 4th. They're all seemingly keeping their front wings intact now. I think they've started to learn the lesson, with the exception of Lamaro, who's got slight damage on that right end plate in 7th place. But the most of them, for the most part, everyone keeping their front wings intact. As OTG picks up a 3-second time penalty, Jerry Tupai continues in the lead of this Grand Prix, driving off into the distance, a 30.6 second advantage. Tyne in second, Looney in third. As we go into the final 16 or so laps of this Grand Prix, 7 runners left. Let's have a quick rundown of the retirements. We see Matt Meerkat in the wall down at Mirabel. Possibly a brake failure, possibly a lock-up, as Alex suggested, because we've seen him with Nico Rosberg doing that once before in the championship battle with Lewis Hamilton. We lost Shimasi as well in the wall down at Rascash as he tried to recover back to the pits with damage at front wing. Tiger Cat crashed into the already crashed Arctic Devils and damaged the suspension. Arctic Devils already in the wall, so both of those cars out as well. Stephen damaged enough front wings and had none left, so had to retire from the race. So yeah, a pretty interesting race for a few cars out there, all of them in the wall from Matt Meerkat down. And yeah, it just proves, Alex, that this track is the most unforgiving on the calendar, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Some of the best drivers in the championship are on the sidelines at the moment. As you've said, it's the more inexperienced ones that have taken the baton. But Julian now back on the super softs after that 2nd stop and closing in on Looney, I think.
Yes, closing in, and was closing in on them rapidly, in fact. 7.5 seconds of deficit. And it was around 10 seconds a couple of laps ago, so Julian, well, to be fair to him, he has a 57-point advantage over OTG in 5th, so he might as well throw everything at this to an extent. Obviously he doesn't want to go bouncing off a barrier and take the wheel off the car or something along the lines of that, but certainly he's got an opportunity to throw caution to the wind here to a certain extent and really start to apply some pressure on Looney, because he's catching him quickly and OTG's miles back, so he might as well go for it in that sense. Shouldn't he, Alex? Why not?
Yeah, just Sorry, 1 second. Cherry 2 Pie again with traffic and really struggling to get past JG there. That was not the best driving there from the Red Bull. Certainly Cherry 2 Pie lost a bit of time there. You can see the gaps come down to time.
Yeah, down 29 seconds. And yeah, I don't think Cherry 2 Pie will be sweating too much. He might throw his hands out the cockpit and make a little gesture, but at the moment, not even the slightest bit concerned. His advantage 28 seconds now. It's coming down even further. Has he damaged that wing somewhere? I don't think so. 27 seconds. He's slowing right down. Has he got a problem?
I expect it to go up again in a moment. I think it could have been just that traffic. Time now behind OTG in 5th place. So the 2nd place man back put a lap on the 5th place man. Incredible.
Yeah,
between those.
Incredible field spread in that. I think we might be starting to see the guys out there who might have put a little bit of practice in, and the guys that maybe haven't put a bit of practice in. And a lot of people, of course, like to deny whether they've practiced or not. We've seen that many a time. And right now, it seems to me, Alex, that Cherry 2 Pie's put quite a bit of time into this, and Julian as well, minus a few incidents, a few bumps off the barrier, and he's actually been in the pits again.
That kills that fight.
Yeah, and as I said, he can afford to damage his front wing and stay 4th, but I think he'll be pretty annoyed with himself not to have closed into Looney. I think he would have got to him anyway, you know that? I really do. And Julian now 33.5 seconds back, and I think he can just about forget any hopes of picking up that podium slot. And we do not have a single battle on the racetrack at the moment. Cherry 2 Pie 27.7 ahead of Tyne in 2nd, Looney 3rd, 9.2 back, Julian in 4th, 33 seconds off the 3rd place man. OTG a minute behind him, and then a further minute back to JG in 6th. Lamaro sits in 7th. The rest, as I've said already, out of this race. So let's go for it then. Why not? We'll name I'll name 3 drivers for driver of the day, Alex. We might as well, but right now I can't see past Cherry 2 Pie really. Can you?
No, absolutely not as it's standing. So Julian doing a brilliant first stint, but then dropped back into the pack, and he's had a couple of stops since then. No other standout names. Of course, obviously Tyne doing a good job in 2nd place, so it probably have to be Tyne and maybe Looney at the moment. Of course, it can change. So
yeah, of course it could change very quickly, but I have to agree with you really. I mean, no real standouts other than Cherry 2 Pie, but to make up the rest, you've got to go with Tyne and Looney, because Julian's made some mistakes. Tyne and Looney, the odd one, but on pace, Julian should be ahead of them today, so you've got to say they put in a better drive today in the race. So driver of the day contenders Tyne and Looney as well, but Cherry 2 Pie, to me, has absolutely bossed this race, and with 12 laps to go, looks an absolute certainty to pick up 25 points for the Haas team. As we watch him now, heading through the hairpin, the slowest corner on the Formula 1 calendar, remember folks, and down the hill towards the harbour. A real beautiful setting for a Formula 1 Grand Prix, the glamorous Monte Carlo circuit, virtually unchanged from its early days. See a similar layout throughout the whole racetrack. And Alex, I don't know about you, but I think that's great to see that Monaco, despite all the improvements in safety we've seen in recent years, the halo and of course Tech Pro barriers, you see quite a lot of them around this racetrack, and other major safety improvements like runoff areas and so on and so forth. It's good that largely this Monaco Grand Prix circuit has not succumbed to safety, isn't it?
Yeah, I would just say it's not changed much since the beginning. A few corners opened out. I actually think the second part of the swimming pool has been an improvement in recent years. It used to be very tight right left, and then they opened the barrier up and somewhat killed it. Since they've opened the radius and upped the speed through there, it's been a fantastic place to watch. But also coming out of the casino square, it's nice that they've not flattened the very large bump out that the drivers have to skirt around. See Cherry 2 Pie just going over it there. He's had a couple of lockups and a bit of sideways action, still giving it plenty.
Yeah, he is still giving it plenty. As Cherry 2 Pie, the gap stings at around that 27-second mark, but as you say, bouncing over that bump we said they should be avoiding. Cherry 2 Pie, not a care in the world. He just bounces up over the top of it. Yeah, I agree with you. It's good to see that things like the bump and that just keep their character of the racetrack. All these bumps and all the corners. And as we now watch Cherry 2 Pie, let's have a quick watch then as he heads down into Tabac. Again, as we said in qualifying, it really is our favourite area of the racetrack. And through the swimming pool section, now where Alex is talking about where they've opened it out a little bit, opened it up, made it much quicker, much more exciting. And despite the runoff area that you have down in that second part of the swimming pool on the left hand side, you still see people getting it wrong and ending in the barrier. They are punished for the mistakes that aren't down there when they go off the road, aren't they, Alex? And yeah, I totally agree with you. Really enjoy that part of the racetrack. My favourite on the calendar, actually. The whole calendar, my favourite area of the racetrack.
Yeah, the curbs in that second part are an absolute killer if you get it run on the entry, but Cherry 2 on that last lap, he just clipped the barrier at Tabac on the right hand side, and I didn't notice at the time, but I'm seeing now he's lost the right hand side of his front wing. So a bit of damage to contend to with Cherry 2 now. First time we've seen that, I believe.
Yeah, we have, and you can't really fault him there, because I mean, come on, everybody's expected to damage something at Monaco at some point. I mean, especially when you're lapping at the pace Cherry 2 is. But yeah, the first chink in his armour, as you say, Alex, and this could be the start of a derailment. We did say that earlier on in the show that one little loss of the front wing can lead to further losses of the front wing and can mount up to, well, disaster, as we've seen in the case of a few drivers this afternoon. But what will Cherry 2 decide to do? Will he continue on his way, or will he come in and change that front wing? He does have a big enough cushion to change it. What will he do? Carries on, so there you go. He's ready to risk it. Not interested in the pit stop. Time behind him has got the full function of his front wing, as is Looney behind that. I think. Or does Looney have damage? Looney's damaged it a little bit as well, I think. And Julian is now on him again. 5.5 between them. What's happened to Looney?
Yeah, it's come down without us noticing, actually, yeah. 5 seconds with 10 laps to go. Could be interesting. 4.7 now.
What has happened to Looney? I think he's been in the pits for a set of those ultras. He has been in. And then on lap 26. So, Julian still closing though, despite being on those ultras, isn't he, Alex? Not interested in hanging around. He's going to get a second bite at this. 50-second gap to OTG. As I said earlier on when he was chasing him down, he can afford to chase him as long as he doesn't start wiping wheels off the car. But he's pushing very hard, as Julian. He's desperate for this. He's pushing like crazy. Already 1.8. How is he doing this so quickly? Looney must have a serious confidence issue or problem.
Yeah, Julian's he's 0.8 under his fuel target, so he's definitely going to have to go lean at some point as he just glances the barrier out of Sandoval.
No issues though, no damage. And it was a 1:17.8 from Looney on that last lap. Julian must have done around the 1:12 mark, I would have thought. So 5 seconds roughly taken out of him. OTG needs to move aside. Oh, what is going on there? What is going on there? That's extreme lag. I presume you've got that same
as well.
Oh my goodness. Well, can you blame him for that, or do you go down to lag? What do you think? He's waiting on him. Julian's going to wait on him. I suppose that's the most sporting thing to do. It looked. I'll give Julian the benefit of the doubt there. That looked like crazy lag between him and OTG. And he lets Looney go, and Looney's got no further damage than what he had.
Yeah, 3 second time penalty for Cherry 2 fine, not sure what happened there. But yeah, we'll reserve judgment on that incident until the stewards have taken a look at the onboards from both cars. Certainly all a bit of a mess from where I was standing.
Yeah, looked like a lot of lag, and Looney's going to let him go back through, I think. Yeah, he does. Looney knows he's not going to win that battle. The pace difference is so much. Julian back up into the podium places, back into third place, and that will be the best it will get unless someone makes a massive error out in front, because it's a 40-second deficit between Julian and his fellow countryman time. So does that now move Julian back into being a contender for driver of the day, do you think, Alex, or do you think Looney still has that opportunity to be driver of the day?
It's that awkward third nominee again, isn't it? We've got two standouts and then one that's sort of having to fill a gap, but yeah, much of a muchness in the rest of the pack. So what's that, third pit stop for Looney now?
Or perhaps maybe Julian is the man to get that third position on the drive of the day, because now we can see that they've both made 3 stops, they've both made similar amounts of errors, and now Julian is 26.5 seconds ahead of Looney. So maybe it would be fair to give it to Julian then. So at the moment Julian then takes that third slot on the driver of the day poll, but I can't see him winning it, I can't see time winning it. I think it's going one place and one place only, unless Cherry 2 makes a major error here at Monte Carlo. He's led virtually from start to finish. One pit stop dropped him down out of the lead place for just a few laps. He has not put a foot wrong.
Sorry, Andy, the second part of the swimming pool caught Julian out. Right hand end plate gone. He's in the pits for another front.
Oh no, and will he be ahead or behind Looney? Probably ahead. He's got that much pace advantage. He's way ahead of him. And Julian, despite that front wing coming flying off again for his fourth pit stop of the afternoon, will still be ahead of Looney, I would think, who's coming around the final corner now. But Julian is already on the pit exit, and I would think, or maybe not actually, yeah, he will just about hold on to that third position, and surely now he just needs to stroke it home. He doesn't need to go bouncing off barriers, he doesn't need to push like crazy. It's a minute and 2 seconds now to time in second. The only way he's going to beat him is if time crashes. No way is he going to beat him any other way. He's slowing down again to let Looney back through, interestingly. What do you make of that, Alex?
Yeah, I would have thought once he's laying through once, that would have been game on again, but whether he was actually at fault for the incident, as we've said, it looked like a lot of lag, so probably just get on with it.
Yeah, if I were him, I would have gone on it, but fair play to Julian, being sportsmanlike, decided, no, I'll let him go, just to ensure that I don't get penalised for it. I think he knows, though, that Looney has got quite a few penalties in his pocket. Does Julian have a few? Let's have a quick look at that penalty count. He might as well. But Looney on the penalties, we've seen him get one. He's got 1 3-second time penalty to his name. Julian doesn't have one to his name, so at the moment Julian will still finish ahead of Looney as long as he sticks to the back of that Mercedes. But Looney all of a sudden is not as slow as what he looked earlier on when Julian was catching him. What is he at all? He's not really, because we've seen him being caught at around 5 seconds a lap by Julian earlier on. It now seems that they've both got fresh tyres on. Looney has more than a match to keep Julian behind here. He's not climbing all over the back of him, Julian, the way he was before. He's in the wall again! And Julian, this time, has got his work cut out if he wants to get back ahead of Looney. He's in the wall again. He's damaged the entire right-hand end plate, and that will be, I would think, a 5th pit stop. There's no way he'll take that to the finish in that condition. No way.
Yeah, as we've seen from Cherry 2 Pie, he's got the luxury of having the gap out the front, but it's all well and good coming in for a new front wing and thinking it'll cost you less time than running with a damaged one, but it's not really worth it if you go out and stick it in the wall straight away again.
No, it is not. And Julian, what will he do now? He's pushing way too hard through to back, clips the wall again and damages the other end plate. If he continues at that pace, he'll do well to get it back to the pits. Going by the pace he went through there, I think he might be continuing on here. I don't think he is interested in pitting. Yeah, he's not. He's just trying to keep that gap under 3 seconds to Looney. So he's decided to carry on. I don't know about you, Alex, but I think that's going to end in tears.
Yeah, maybe they've run out of wings at Red Bull as well, or run out of sets of tyres to stick on it, something like that. He's been in the pit swap now 4 times. The most of anyone, along with Lamaro.
Yeah, but Alex, surely if they run out of wings at Red Bull, that isn't a problem, because Red Bull give you wings, so that would be strange if they ran out of wings at Red Bull. I don't think they can afford that marketing error, can they?
It certainly wouldn't sit well with Matt's shits now.
I don't think so. Red Bull gives you wings, we've got none left. Oh well. So that would not sit well at all, but Julian... Sorry?
Still got the one on the back. It's not got that bad just yet.
Yeah. Julian again. And that's even more front wing gone. He's definitely going to have to pit now. You can see the understeer visibly on the car. The gap's 3.5 seconds, so you would think he would admit defeat. And he goes into the pits. He comes, and that's not at all worked out well for Julian. Could have been a second place today. Too many errors, and he's now having to come into the pits for a brand new front wing on the number 29 Red Bull for a 5th time. He's been in the pits. Away he will go. He will have a lead over OTG. It was sitting at around a minute not so long ago. It's going to come down quite considerably here, isn't it? To around the half minute mark.
Red Bull are the only team out there, I think, with 2 cars running, so good for their constructors.
Yeah, that's good for them, but it could have been so much better. So it's going to be, what, 8 points for JG at the moment. And the other Red Bull of Julian picking up 12 points at the moment. So a reasonable 20-point haul for Red Bull. Still not enough to overturn what Hassel scored today with our one driver of Cherry Tupai, should he make it to the finish. But he's got a 28-second lead now on time. He's kind of held it around that mark area since he damaged that front wing, hasn't he? He's just managed it in recent laps. He knows he's got it in the bag if he strokes at home. 3 laps from home, Cherry Tupai in complete control. He leads from tying in second, 28.8 seconds back. Then a full minute and 2 seconds to Looney, who's coming in again. He's damaged the wing again. Goodness me. Looney in once more, and will this swing the pendulum back Julian's way? I tell you what, if these guys keep damaging the wings, OTG's going to have a shout soon.
Yeah, certainly closing that gap.
Back down the pits comes Looney, and this one might go to Julian. If it doesn't go to him on the racetrack, it will certainly go to him when time penalties are factored in. I think it will go into him on the racetrack though. Yeah, he does. Julian moves back up into that third position, and he again looks to be on course despite his 5-stop strategy to take home the third place. But if he's been in the pits 5 times in 37 laps, there's nothing to say he won't be in again, Alex, in the remaining 2, is there?
Sorry, I missed that. I was a bit of break up there.
Oh, apologies. Julian, I'm saying he's been in the pits 5 times in 37 laps. He looks as if he's on course for the podium, but I don't think it's a certainty they've given that he's been in the pits that many times. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's a certainty, but surely now he's got to stroke it home, Alex. He's got to. Come on, 2.6 seconds. Just take it easy, Julian.
Yeah, he's certainly not took the straightforward route to the flag, and yeah, as you say, 5 stops. Pretty incredible. Just the one for Cherry Tupai and Tyne in front, and that pretty much sums up the race. They've kept out of trouble where everyone else has faltered. Yeah,
and the 2 out front are actually a lap ahead of the third place car, believe it or not. Wow, a full lap ahead of the rest of the pack. Superb performance. They're probably more than a lap ahead of JG and Lamaro, probably 2 laps ahead of those guys. Maybe even 3 ahead of Lamaro, quite incredibly. But it doesn't matter, it's not important. Lamaro's still going to pick up some points, as is JG. And the likes of Shimasi, Matt Meerkat, Tiger Car, Arctic Devils and Stephen, they will not pick up any points. As Julian is not interested, is he, in hanging about here. He wants to go for this.
Absolutely, he's just picked up a penalty as well, so 3 seconds, I believe it was, added to his time.
He's just pushing like crazy. I don't understand why. I mean, you don't get any points for fastest lap, so it's a strange one. But I think he's trying to show us that he did have the pace here today if he hadn't made mistakes. But the problem is, by showing that pace, he has made mistakes, hasn't he, Alex? And that's the fine balance, as you spoke about earlier on in the race, about percentage game. And it's not really been a percentage game at all for the likes of Julian, has it? They've just went for it flat out.
Well, they must make the wishbones had a pretty strong stuff down at Red Bull. Those certainly bounced off a few walls this evening. Yeah,
they should have. Adrian Newey, of course. So I think seems to think of everything. Aerodynamic performance, rigid, how rigid he makes his cars, and straight line speed, obviously not his forte, as he cannot deal with the Renault engine that's in the back of that car. But it's a real racetrack where you'd expect Red Bull to run well. They've got both cars to the flag, but it could have been a better afternoon for them. But we've got to go to Cherry Tupai now on this final lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. Is already weaving from left to right. He's got an enormous advantage over Tyne in second, a full lap ahead of Julian in third. And here he comes, coasting through the final sector. You don't see this very often in Formula 1, but Cherry Tupai is going to pick up his 2nd victory of the season. He follows up a fantastic 2nd in the USA last week by coming round. Anthony knows a little bit of burnouts as he comes up towards the line. Cherry Tupai wins the rerun of the Monaco Grand Prix. It's an absolute stroll in the park. He wins for Haas, and definitely the driver of the day. I don't even think we need the poll. There will be one, but I think we can just safely give it to him right now, Alex, can't we?
Yeah, we've only seen that one fault from him with the front wing that went down at the back, but other than that, yeah, brilliant drive as Tyne comes across in 2nd place. On any other day, he'd have been driver of the day, but Cherry Tupai, perfect up front.
Yeah, perfect from Cherry Tupai. Tyne Massive improvement on his best ever result to come home second, 18 points. He will be overjoyed with that. Julian, despite his 5-stop strategy, comes a lap down home in third. Looney has seen the flag in fourth. OTG we wait to finish. JG has seen the flag a lap down, 2 laps down maybe even. And OTG comes across the line now. Lamaro has seen the flag too, and OTG now over the start finish line. He comes home and he'll be satisfied with 5th place, I think. 10 World Championship points for him, usually strapping down at the lower end of the top 10, getting an odd point in there, but he's got double figure points today, a full 10 World Championship points for him. So well done to OTG as we await the drivers on the podium. There's Cherry Tupai. He hasn't seen anybody else all race long. You'll see the drivers alongside him on the podium for the first time today. You've not seen them at all since the lights went out here. Totally dominant. He wins. And the champagne is sprayed here at the Principality. A fantastic performance from Cherry Tupai. He beats the brilliant time in second. And Julian in third. A fantastic Monaco Grand Prix. All sorts of drama, all sorts of accidents, cars on the wall. Just a shame we never had a tighter battle in the field. So there is a quick rundown of the results. Cherry Tupai won it in the end. Totally, utterly dominant throughout the weekend. Tying in second, Julian third, a double Dutch podium. Good result for those lads. Looney in 4th position. He took advantage of this, the huge amount of retirements, as did OTG in 5th. The North Korean JG in 6th. Kim Jong-un will be delighted with that. And Lamaro came home in 7th. The last of the finishers here in Monaco. Well, Alex, not a classic, let's be honest, but still plenty of drama out there, wasn't there?
Yeah, surprisingly, with only 7 cars left, there's plenty to still talk about. Seems to be something going on for most of the race, and as you say, yeah, the championship goes on, of course.
It sure does. Now I'm going to get the guys in for an interview. You bear with me, folks. So I invite these guys in now. Let's have a quick look. So Cherry Tupai, let's find him, let's get him into here. The of course won the race, totally dominant from start to finish. Have I got him? Yeah, I've got him on my friends list. Where is he now? Let's have a look. Can't find him. Cherry Tupai, we're just awaiting him. He's coming right now. Julian, I don't. Has anyone got Julian's? Have you got Julian's PSN there, Alex? You read it off to me.
I don't have it at this moment.
All good. All good. I've got it. I found it. I've found it.
Hello.
Hello. Bear with us a sec, Cherry Tupai, the race winner, of course, joining us. Just to invite a couple of other guys. Cherry Tupai, can you please invite time for us? Have you got time in your friend list? I think I might.
No.
Has anyone got time?
Jam it should.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got him. I found him. That's perfect.
Who's in third? Oh, fucking Julian. Shit, is that on stream?
Yep, that'll be on the stream.
Oh, great. Good afternoon, Julian.
And now Julian joins us. We only await the remaining Dutchman. We've got Julian with us. We need the other Dutchman, of course, with time. We just await him joining, and hopefully he will join us. And we will have a full house for the podium interviews. But today, all about Cherry Tupai. A fantastic drive. Dominated the qualifying session. Dominated the race. And while we wait on time, whether he joins, whether he doesn't, we'll find out soon. Let's have a quick word with Cherry Tupai. Well, Cam, that was a bit easy, was it not? Stroll in the park?
Well, I was more scared that Julian was going to jump me off the line, to be honest. And once I think I got that, and I just think I just slowly just broke away. And to be fair, I just didn't want to bin it. I could see the finish line, and I didn't want to bin it because I think this is the first time I've ever finished a Monaco race. So I think I was driving about 80%. I was just being a bit cautious, especially at the end. 15 seconds off my PB.
Yeah, well, we noticed you were celebrating and waving to the crowd on the way past in the final lap, so fantastic performance. But I've got to say, there was a point in that race where me and Alex were wondering, is he going to back off? Because you opened up a huge advantage, and then you put 3 fastest laps together in a row, and we're like, well, slow down, come on, there's a reason for that.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I was slightly pissed off when Julian took the fastest lap. So, but by the end, I was kind of Lamario, great back marker, I've got to say. I was lapping him. I think for the second time, he just brakes on the apex. So I think from lap 19, I had orange wing damage. So the gap between me and Tinge was kind of staying rather level. And from then, to be honest, I was like, as soon as Julian got that fastest lap, I was like trying to just get the gap up because it was like 28 seconds in the end, and I needed to change my wing angle on ultra softs. So I didn't know how much a pit stop was, so I was trying to get it around 30, and then I would have pitted to try and get the fastest lap off Julian, just for the full house.
But no, it wasn't. Well, you still got it in the end, did you not? No, did Julian steal it? Julian stole it, yeah, he did, of course. But yeah, for congratulations, by the way, fantastic result.
Thank you.
It was, to be honest, it wasn't a classic. The gaps were big, huge in places. A lot of retirements, of course, but I don't think the retirement would have mattered. I think they had that under control from there.
I think it was maybe a bit of a boring race for you guys to watch, but
we tried our best.
At the end of the day, I just kind of did what I could.
Well, we were hoping you'd put it in the wall and then give us some excitement. No, I'm joking. Well done anyway. Fantastic result.
Thank you.
Qualifying. I'm going to ask you about qualifying briefly. A 1:10.3 is how quick's that? Is that up there with one of the special laps at Monaco, or is there more in the tank?
I think there was a bit more in the tank because, to be honest, I was doing a couple of practice sessions before with Julian actually, and I wasn't pushing in those practice sessions because I didn't want to show what I've done, but I did a couple of like 11s and then I like proper cranked it up for the actual thing. I did a little bit of time trial and I've 9.7 was my PB on time trial. So last 2 laps I bottled. So in the end, pole was got on my first lap.
Oh, well done, fantastic. I mean, as me and Alex said it in the commentary, there was no. We expected some drivers to maybe crank it up slowly, wind it in slowly, and then deliver the lap. But right away out the blocks, you were flying a couple of fantastic laps early doors, and that was that.
I wanted to show that I think I deserved that.
Yeah, not even the slightest doubt about it. So fantastic performance. Now,
do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know what happens to Shishmasi? Sorry.
Several damaged front wings, and eventually I think he locked up into Raskas and just stuck it in the wall. So yeah,
Pitmat
not
for
a good
title.
afternoon for him, and it keeps the championship wide open between him and Pitmat. Even though Pitmat wasn't here, a real chance for Pitmat to get back into the title race had he been here. He's still in it though. The gap only 13 points as we head off to the next race in Mexico. But now let's head to Julian. A case of what might have been today. He had the pace, only 3/10 away from Cam in the end of qualifying. But it didn't work out. 5 pit stops, a lap down in the end, but still 15 points, best result. Yeah, well, second best result after Singapore. Julian, are you happy with that? Solid performance, but could have been better, couldn't it?
Nope. I'm not really happy.
Yeah, look, could have been better. Can you talk us through your race then? A lot of front wings went flying off the Red Bull. Red Bull gives you wings, but today it wasn't the case. Red Bull losing wings today.
Yep, unfortunately that was the case.
So, what else then? Could you have won today? Do you think? Do you think you had the pace to win? Do you think you could have challenged Cam without front wing damage?
No, I couldn't have won. His pace was just amazing. I was just on the pace for second place, really. So yeah.
I've got to ask you, Julian, another quick question. You were at times coming into the pits with and then getting a new front wing on, but you were just pushing. You didn't care. You looked as if third was safe, and then it wasn't safe, and then it was fourth, then it was third, then it was fourth. Constant front wing changes at the end of the battle with Looney. Why were you pushing so much? Was it just for that fastest lap? Were you not interested in the damage to the front wing? Was it all about the fastest lap?
After a few front wing damages, I was just trying to push to hopefully catch up to the leaders again, but that just resulted in more front wings broken, so... yeah. I'm still quite happy with second though, or third, sorry.
Well, yeah, 15 points, I suppose it's a reasonable result, and as I say, as you say, it could have been better, but hard luck. On to the next one, and maybe you can beat your Dutch counterpart time next week and reverse that one. So, yeah, good job. Unfortunately, we've not got time with us. Anyone get any questions? Freddie, you get any questions for the two drivers?
Just for Cherry 2 Pie, what was the feeling when the front wing got damaged? Did you ever consider coming in to change that earlier on, or was it more just about, as you say, opening the gap?
I did consider, as soon as I did get the damage, it was just a weird place to get the damage at the start, but I did consider straight away about coming in. I saw the gap to time was about 30 seconds, and I was in a party with a few other drivers, and like we were constantly just like talking about like how long is it in the pit lane, how long is it, because there was no thought process in my mind that I wanted to pit and come out behind him, because I knew that I wouldn't be able to overtake him. So in the end, I just calculated it, and I had about a 30-second gap lead with about 20 laps to go, so he had to have caught me rapidly to at least get on the back.
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned a few times in commentary that guys coming out in traffic and track position was the most vital thing, and of course we also saw many drivers come in, change the front wing, and go straight out and get the damage again. So yeah, probably the good call to keep out there with even just a slight bit of damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I echo exactly what Alex said. We've seen it from Julian. Julian said it himself, and he came, new front wing, damaged it again, and we've seen that from Shimasi. We've seen it from Steven. Steven got fed up with it, and he was furious. I think they ran out of front wings down at Ferrari, and that was the end of the race for Steven. So I mean, yeah, several drivers suffering from continuous front wing damage. So yeah, I agree with what Alex said. I echo what he said. I think that staying out there with the damaged front wing is the best decision if you can adapt to it and adjust your pace corner by corner to the never forgetting Monaco racetrack. So yeah, that rounds it off. Thanks for joining us, folks, again for that driver interviews here at the Monaco Grand Prix. Round 6 of the championship rerun. Of course, that is now the 17th race of the season. We move on next week, where the championship battle will continue. Will it be Shimasi? Will it be Pitmat in Mexico for round 18 of the championship? We'll see you then. That's it from myself, from Alex, and from all the drivers on at the podium. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.